Where Are They Now? With your host, Dianne Hart. Now here's Dianne.
Good evening. Welcome to Where Are They Now on Detroit Hot TV. I am your host, Dianne Hart, and I have the privilege of interviewing Mr. Billy Davis. I know you all have heard of him. You've seen him. He's one of the baddest guys you ever want to hear play a guitar. Good evening, Mr. Davis.
Good evening, and how are you today?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm going to just go right into it. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Bentonia, Mississippi, and I came to Detroit, Michigan in 1951. And I've been here ever since. I lived about 7 years in New York City.
Okay.
But this has always been what I call home, my second home.
So did you go to school here in Detroit or you went to school in Mississippi?
I went to school in Mississippi and Tennessee. Because I was born in Bentonia, Mississippi, but I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. When I was very young, I started the school there in the first grade. I moved back to Mississippi and stayed there until 1951. And I came to Detroit, Michigan. I was in the sixth grade. And I went to high school here also.
Oh, okay. Here in Michigan.
Right.
Okay. So how old were you when you started in the music business?
I was 16, really. But if I had my way, it would have been much earlier. I didn't know how to play a guitar, but I wanted to. But I used to listen so much on the radio, and that's as close as I could get. I was 16. I happened to be headed home from school, and I saw a blind guy sitting on the porch playing the guitar. I started talking to him, and he started teaching me. That's how I got my start.
Wow. Who were some of your major influencers that played guitar that you wanted to be just like or better than?
That's a very easy question. My favorite was Muddy Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker, and B.B. King, but Muddy Waters was the very first one.
Wow. Do you write music for others and for yourself?
Yes, I do. When I write, sometimes I can hear sounds that other people that I would like for them to do my songs. I write for myself and others, if they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you are a phenomenal guitar player. I was trying to count how many albums you had out there. I mean, songs. I was like, he has pages and pages.
I played with a lot of people. The biggest accomplishment really was playing with Hank Ballard The Midnighters. I played with him from 1959 to 2000.
You spent a whole career with him, huh?
Mostly with him, right. In between that, I played with Jackie Wilson, Joe Tex, B.B. King. I recorded with a lot of people also. The Isley Brothers, Joe Tex, Millie Jackson. Been very exciting, though.
Sounds like it's very exciting. And based on all your music out there, I can only imagine how exciting it was. Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'll ask you a couple of questions and we'll continue on.
Okay.
Faces and places that I've never seen came to me last night in a dream. Talking serpent with eyes of red, couldn't understand a damn thing. 10,000 soldiers stood side by side. 10,000 trumpets that sound like a face unknown staring out of the crowd. 10,000 people touching down. Faces and places that I never dreamed came to me last night. 10,000 trumpets that sound too loud. A face unknown staring out of the crowd. Faces and places that I've never seen came to me last night.
back to Where Are They Now? I'm your host, Dianne Hart, with my special guest, Mr. Davis, whose music I've listened to. That was a bad song. What inspired that song?
I kind of felt like at one time I wasn't getting the play that I thought I deserved, and I just did what I felt. That's the way I write songs. Whatever the way I feel, and that's the way I write. To write a song about it. If I have a very happy feeling, I write happy songs. If I'm feeling a certain way, I write.
When do you think you're the most creative? Is it late at night, early in the morning, when you're driving? When do you think you're the most creative?
Either I'm on a train or flying. The sound of the railroad tracks and all that. I guess I feel very inspired. And when I'm flying, I get very inspired also to write.
So do you have any new music coming out? Or are you going back and putting together some new albums? What are you working on right now?
What I want to do to sum up my music career, I want to go back to the beginning. I want to do a country CD because country music has been one of my favorites. Off Mississippi, that's all I heard was country music, blues. That's where I really got my start. I love those sounds,
Yeah.
But I never did a country album, though, but I want to. That's my next important move that I want to make.
You trained Jimi Hendrix. What was that like to have a student like him?
When I met him, he was 16 years of age. I was 20. I wasn't really impressed with him, but what impressed me mostly was his determination. I showed him one little thing. He was a perfectionist. If it takes him hours to work on one little thing, he would do it, and I liked that about it. I spent a lot of time with him, and a beautiful human being, too. Me and him became very good friends, up until he passed away,
So how many songs do you have with him? You have a lot of them?
I wrote 2 songs for him. Mm-hmm. But we never got a chance to do them. We went to, because I had told him, I said, Jimmy, I'm going to write a song for you, And I wrote the song, and we was constantly together, But when I got the song, okay, so he came over, picked me up, and I showed him the song, okay, we're going to do it, And we set up a time, and we went in the studio called the Record Plant. We went in there, but we went over the songs, and all of a sudden, people start coming in, The next thing we know, we got a room full of people that had nothing to do with the recording. And then put it on hold, and people's getting high and buzzed up and stuff like that. So, and this went on from Friday until Monday. And we hadn't did nothing, Then and I told him, I said, Jimmy, I said, man, I feel like I'm about to die because I've been up for 3 days. I had never been up that long in my life, And he was just refreshed, and I felt like I was about to die, And he said, okay, I'm sorry. He said, I have my chauffeur to take you home. So he took me home. And I slept the rest of the day, and he called me that next day. He apologized, saying he was how sorry he was. A day later, he got a call to come to England. He called me and told me, he said, I got to go to England and do some shows. When I come back, we can go ahead and finish the songs. That was the last time I talked to him. Wow. Next thing I knew, I'm walking down to the 7th Avenue subway, and I see a newspaper laying in the trash can, and I saw his picture on it, and I walked up and looked up and picked up and said, Jimi Hendrix dies at 27.
Oh.
That's the way I found out that he had passed away, But we never got a chance to do the song.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to listen to Mr. Rock and Roll, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back to Where Are They Now? I'm your host, Dianne Hart, with my special guest tonight, Mr. Billy Davis, the baddest guitar player, you all. There's something they used to call, not plate, but pick. Use some kind of little instrument that you...
Guitar pick?
Right.
I used to use those, but I went back to where I started. I quit using them because you get a different sound with a pick than you did then. So I went back to my natural playing with just my pick. I started out playing a pick with the pick after a while, but then I quit and went back to the way I started.
Rock and roll is a bad jam. What inspired you to do that? Did you write that one too?
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that?
What inspired me to do it, because I really was a pioneer in a lot of the rock and roll stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing with Hank Ballard. Well, that's where I really got my first start in playing at a record company, because the company was King Records in Cincinnati. And that's where I got my start at recording with Hank Ballard. I loved his rock and roll, so I just wrote a song called saying I'm Mr. Rock and Roll.
Yes, you are Mr. Rock and Roll. And today even, you're still Mr. Rock and Roll. I've watched you. I've seen you play in several venues. You are still rocking the house.
Well, I'm trying.
Look to me like you're still doing it. I'd like to ask you, what kind of advice would you give to these new up-and-coming musicians that are coming into this industry today?
Music have changed so much. It's really hard to say, and really, I'm so happy that I came along at the time that I did, because a lot of the younger musicians today, there's not too many openings for them. It's not like it used to be. When I was coming up, you had record companies everywhere. A guy could come out of nowhere and become a recording star overnight, but that don't happen no more. They don't have that opportunity no more. At the time I come out, King Records, Federal Records, RCA, you had a lot of record companies. Kid guy had a little tell, he go and audition and sign a contract, become a recording artist. But that don't happen nowadays.
Do you think it's because we don't have all of the record labels?
We don't have the record labels. That's the main thing. There's nowhere for them to go. And they can go on, like say, you go on YouTube and Facebook, stuff like that.
Right.
But your records cannot be played. If you do a good record, you take it to a radio station, they're not going to play it. I don't care how good it is. They're not going to play it unless you got a certain back, and your record will not get played. Things have changed so much. The business ain't like it used to be. I'm glad I came along at the time I did. I probably never would have got to be a recording artist. I came along at 16 years old today. What could I do?
I know. You'd have to be on Spotify or some of these other social media platforms to try and have your record played there. But you really do need to sign with a record company if you really want to get your music played. Just
like in the days of Motown, they had nationwide airplay, but Motown is not really doing that. The record company I started with, King Records, they're not functioning either.
No?
No.
So Motown is no longer signing artists to Motown either?
It ain't like it used to be. Right here, they ain't signing nobody that I know of in this area, because the company is located in California now.
Are you with a record label?
With an independent label. It's called No Cover Productions. But they don't have the power to get the airplay on FM stations,
All right, have you done any Southern Soul music?
Not recent, but I lived in Memphis for about 3 years. I was working with Willie Mitchell down there. Willie Mitchell's the one that produced Al Green. I worked with him for about 3 years.
So now what I need you to do is go home and write me a Southern Soul song.
I sure will. I wrote Millie Jackson's first song.
So you can write one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Pete Peterson, who was with Motown?
That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, Pete has a lot of artists. Tons of them that he has worked with down through the years. That's why I was wondering if you knew Pete. But yeah, they have Loman Peterson Records that's catering to Southern Souls. Go home and write a song for me. Let's get this thing played.
Oh, yeah.
All over the airways, because Loman Peterson Music has the ability to do that.
Yeah, I can look in my books right now. I can find some good Southern Soul music.
Well, you need to go get it. Let's get it played up on the radios, because it's a $50 billion industry they're looking at. They expect Southern Soul to just blow up. Southern Soul to me is what music used to be before all the kids came along with all the, I don't know what we call it exactly. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What platforms can your fans find you on?
YouTube YouTube, Facebook, that's predominantly the ones that I deal with.
So did they just go to Billy Davis?
Billy Davis Rhythm Machine.
Oh, okay. Billy Davis Rhythm Machine.
That's the backup band. Mighty Michael's a part of that. He's one of the musicians in the Billy Davis Rhythm Machine. My group consists of a keyboard player, bass, drums, Mighty Michael on guitar, and myself on guitar. So we got 5 pieces all together.
Are you playing here in Detroit right now? Are you planning to go on tour anytime in the near future?
We had a few cancellations recently. We ain't be doing nothing now until in late July. We'll be playing at a place in Detroit called Nancy Whiskey's.
Well, you're going to have to make sure we know about it so we can post it up on Where Are They Now, so people will be looking for that date so they can go to your show. If I'm in Detroit, I'll certainly go.
June 22nd.
That's right before my birthday. So let me ask you this. Are you going to do any tours or are you just going to play here in the Detroit area?
Yeah, it'll be just in the Detroit area for the very near future.
Is that a new band and you had that band a long time? You just added some new people to it?
Added new people, but I started the band at least about 20 years ago.
So you have any other originals with you still who started with you?
The only original is the bass player. His name is Mike Davis.
Approximately how long? You say you started in 1951?
I came to Detroit in 1951.
Right.
I started playing in 1954. Started learning how to play in 1954.
You've been playing 70 years already.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was just yesterday.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Not many people can say, I've been playing 70 years and I'm still truly enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
How much practicing do you have to do?
Not much as used to. I've been doing it so long, I can hear a song without even having my guitar. And I know how to play it before I even rehearse it, because I can hear it. So when I go get the guitar, I automatically just start playing it.
That's what 70 years in the business will do, right?
Yeah, that's what it did for me.
Absolutely. Should be able to do it for anybody who could stay in the business that long. They should. You honed your craft. You know exactly what it is that you're doing and what you want to do.
When I wrote the song, Mr. Rock and Roll, I had an idea. I had a sound, but couldn't nobody hear it. The audience loved it, but I go to a record company. Oh, what is that, man? You got to get something out. I can't do nothing with that, No one could hear it. Jimi Hendrix did the same thing. With the things I taught him, stuff like that. No one could hear it from him. He went to England and the people heard it and made him a superstar. That is something. He tried Motown. Motown said, man, what is that? I can't do nothing with that. But Jimmy took it to England and it was something new. He became a superstar.
And they loved it in England, huh?
Right, exactly.
So have you been to England yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you played over there too, so they loved your music.
Right. Last time I was over there was in 1986. Me and Hank Ballard, we did a tour over there, recorded a live double album.
Wow. What a phenomenal career you have had. You have children?
Oh, yeah. None of them plays music.
Anybody sing?
No. I'm the only oddball in my family tree.
You have sisters and brothers? Did any of them play?
Nope, none of them plays anything. I was the only oddball, and I got the urge to play. I was in a taxi cab with my mother one time in Memphis, and a record come on the radio. That's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right. Any way you do, that's all right. And I heard that. I said, "Ooh, man, it just got into my soul." That's what made me really want to play a guitar. But my father was a preacher. My mother was the mother of the church, and my father discouraged me. He didn't want me to play it. He didn't even want me to keep the guitar in the house. Yeah, I used to have to hide my guitar up under my bed. But I'd be sitting in my room looking out the window, seeing when he coming home from work. I'd see him coming. I'd have to run and put it back under the bed before he get into that.
When did he find out that you were really playing and how well you could play?
Some of the people on his job began to tell him. And they used to tell me, say, yeah, your dad act like he didn't like what you were doing, but he was proud of you, He used to brag to the people that he worked with about me, That shocked me because he never showed enthusiasm about me playing to me, My mom, she co-signed for me to buy my very first guitar.
I know that's right.
She didn't really encourage it that much, but she didn't try to keep me from it doing it.
Right.
But my father, he did. Get that thing out of his house.
Well, he would be super proud of you today, the man that you've become. I know he's looking down on you every single day with a big smile on his face. So proud that that's my son.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me. Time flies and we're near the end, but I also want to make sure that people know that you will be doing some gigs here in Detroit. We'll be putting them up on Where Are They Now, and I'll be putting them up on my page down in Florida. We want to make sure that people know exactly where to find you. Go out to YouTube or Facebook, and it's Billy Davis Rhythm
Machine.
Okay, there it is. You all heard it right here. So thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you being here with me.
And thank you so very much.
You are so welcome. You can watch me every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on the Lit TV network. That's on Roku, on The Opening Statement. On Thursday nights, I'm on Detroit Hot TV on Where Are They Now. So thank you.
And thank you so very much.
You are so welcome. Good night.